Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Mayor, you want an amazing statistic?
Yes.
The Cleveland Browns, the new Cleveland Browns, not the Cleveland Browns of our youth, but the second coming of the Cleveland Browns,
Yes.
have lost 16 straight openers.
What?
How is that humanly possible?
We should
That's
quit
right.
having them.
16 straight openers.
Rook, they should start playing
Quit
on
having them.
too.
Just quit having them.
They've been back for 22 years. They're now 1-20-1. But they've lost the last 16 openers. That's it. My friend Livingston, who is retired as a columnist there, but on Twitter yesterday, by 12:20, he had tweeted, "Same old Browns."
Did Detroit win yesterday?
No, they were ahead of the Bears by 17 going into the fourth quarter and managed to fritter it away and get beat.
Not only that, in the last 23 seconds, they marched down. I was watching the end of the game, and then whatever Detroit line was dropped a football where all he had to do was catch it and fall into the end zone, and he let it get away from him in the chest.
I believe he's their second draft choice in this year's draft, too, that did that. So you always, no matter how bad you feel about the Vikings today out there in radio land and podcast land, you could be a Browns or a Lions fan. I mean, it could be worse. Joe, I looked it up. My most memorable Viking opener ever was Les Steckel's debut in 1984.
Yep.
Because I remember Sid, I was still in St. Paul, obviously, but I remember Sid really building up the hopes before that one as the Chargers came to town. He was very impressed by Les and what had gone on, and they got beat 42-13, and the Chargers, which I think they still probably had Dan Fouts, I'm not sure, had 526 yards in offense, and it was 42-13. And that was the beginning of the end for Les, even though it was his first ever game. But yesterday it was 524 that they gave up to Aaron Rodgers, so it was close. Mm-hmm. But it was not. And I was at the Twins game, so I didn't see much of it. But apparently they dropped. Their young, swift receiver dropped 2 wide open passes, else they could have been over 600. So, for the Packers, not good.
I didn't see much of the game. I heard about the last 10 minutes on the radio.
I was in Target Field. It was a fairly nice day. A hard day for you to just sit and watch TV, right?
Too tough for that.
Yeah. It wasn't a great day though, was it?
No, we're getting this haze is from the fires out west.
Really?
We're getting the smoke.
Wow.
We're getting the smoke.
Yeah, it's. I saw that they were going to fly planes over Dodger Stadium on Saturday night to taunt the Astros,
Right.
For their sign stealing, but they were grounded. But then yesterday afternoon, apparently the skies were clear enough so that they could have the planes dragging signs that were really going to make the Astros feel bad and probably give back that championship trophy.
Doogie just tweeted the following 3 minutes ago. Preliminary Vikings-Packers local TV ratings. Nearly 1 million total viewers, a 74 share, unreal on a beautiful day. Bucks, Saints, and Cowboys, Rams also dominated. Pretty clear this marketplace has been yearning for the NFL.
Well, and it also is. I was involved in a debate because our friend Sharkman from Toronto, also known as Tom Linneman, former St. John's quarterback, tweeted out about all these people, all the Patriots, saying they weren't going to watch the game because of they
Social politics out.
kneeling and leave the politics out. And he called them out as a bunch of frauds, and I agreed with him. Having stopped at the Super America down by Target Field at 11:45, and usually I've done that a couple of times on my Sunday to pick up my Diet Cokes for going to a Twins game. Usually you can't find a parking spot. There were 2 people in there.
Oh, really?
Everybody home waiting for kickoff. And I said, yes, you are lying frauds. You will be watching. And we now have our evidence.
I made the mistake of going to my local Hy-Vee at about 10:30 yesterday morning.
was bad.
Well, everybody's in their Viking shirts, getting
yeah.
their supplies for that. And I didn't even think of that because she says, we need this and that. And I ran down there quick. That was a mistake. Oh, my God.
You know, the losses are going to be worse without fans because you kind of miss that agony.
Oh, yes. Plus, I said, the piped-in noise, we should have had booing.
Yeah.
You should have,
Beat me to the punch.
As they left halftime, they should have had the sound of when people in the old Metrodome used to lean over and scream down into the tunnel when the boys left. I remember the worst ever. I was in Soldier Field when the Bears stunk before they got good, so it had to be, late 70s. Mm-hmm. And they had, Joe, you were remember that terrible locker room area where you'd stand on boards and interview guys, and there was water and stuff out back there. It was unbelievable. But there was a tunnel down there, a entryway to get back into the locker rooms down at that one field. And the Bears stunk it out one day. And I remember Noah Jackson, who was huge. He weighed about 330, offensive guard. And these guys were leaning over and just yelling the most profane possible things. And he looked up and said, I'm coming up there. And these guys turned around and ran. A lot of false bravado when you're standing up above them there and they screaming down there.
Someone get me a ladder. I'm going up there.
They're a rowdy bunch in Chicago.
Oh, man. Remember that when you used to have the press parking was like way behind that parking lot where all the tailgating took place? And I was occasionally reprimanded for my girth walking through there once in a while, and also my sexual preference.
Sure. They brought that into question as well, huh?
Not only somewhat overweight, but likely likely to like boys better than girls.
They've got guys there that show up in bear suits, but they're not. You're not Yogi or Smokey the Bear. It's their vicious, bloody fangs and claws, and it's just dreadful.
It's the Revenant Bear.
My wife has a really good friend that lives just outside of Chicago, and she was my girlfriend back then. We decided to take in a game. Thinking, let's go watch the Purple. It was an early season game. And
she's too good looking to take to a
boy, that was a mistake. And she looked at me in the second quarter and said, I'm leaving. If you want to come with me, you're more than welcome.
She got a few propositions,
yes,
did she?
Yes, she did. And some insults were hurled my way since they connected the dots that she was with me. But yeah, that was
Was this your wife or a former girlfriend?
No, this was my then girlfriend, now wife.
I got you.
Yeah, and that was not a pleasant experience in Chicago.
The two I remember is I went down back-to-back the year they won the Super Bowl for their playoff games, and it was freezing both times. I mean, it was terrible. They beat the Rams and the Giants. I don't know which order. I think the Giants first and then the Rams. And a howling wind. It was about 10 degrees, and you get that tailgating crowd out there after a game where you got the remnants, like leaving the press box 2.5 hours after the game, walking to your car. It's night by then, and they're passed out all over, and their buddies are still standing over them drinking, and
God.
we're going to the Super Bowl. And it's just it's unbelievable. I years ago suggested to the Star Tribune that we do a piece on the whole unholy alliance of alcohol and football. You know, colleges and pros.
Right.
But it's something that if you want to do it right, you'd have to almost do it the year before and then write it. You know, but go to like Florida, Georgia, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, and Alabama, Auburn, and then.
Well, Pat, if you need someone to do this, I'm more than willing to
sir.
Well,
volunteer.
you've
I
been
can
there
help.
with the Bills
Oh
fans.
my! I would say you have to go to Buffalo. That's an absolute must for that
Oh, yeah.
tailgate. If you're going to do a piece like that. Well,
I walked in there once before the 51-3 game when they beat Oakland 51-3, the best looking team I ever saw, and they were in tailgating in fields then.
Yes.
The parking lot didn't have pavement; it had grass, but it was mud by early January, and there were some people weren't worried about their personal hygiene.
Football will do that to you.
There's a public golf course in Evanston that's thought so highly of that you get to park there when Northwestern's
Yeah, right.
park right on the green and for tailgating.
Yes.
You mind if I play through here? Yeah, let me move my car.
Yes, yeah. That's the Rose Bowl. You park on the parking lot. I mean, you park on the golf course too.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're unlikely to have rain, and mud and stuff.
Right.
Although, especially now, you're unlikely to have rain. So, anyway, but actually, that is December. Once in a while, they do get a little rain. So,
This is going to be an interesting series in Chicago, isn't it?
the Whiteys have won 15 out of 16, something like that. They've been hotter than hell. I told Reavers this earlier today. The White Sox against the Royals and Detroit. They finished up with Detroit yesterday. They finished with both of them 18-2.
Wow.
Twins 9-9. If you want to know the difference between the standings, the Twins are only a game behind them, but the White Sox, they're also 3-1 against Pittsburgh, so they're 21-3, beating up the
bottom feeders.
Right.
feeders.
What's the playoff format?
Okay, get ready for this.
here we go.
We have 8 teams going from each league.
Oh,
In
my
other
God.
words, over 50%. 8
Right.
out of 15. The top 2 in each of the 3 divisions qualify. And then they will be seeded 1, 2, 3 according to first place, 4, 5, 6 according to second place.
All right.
And then that leaves you with 9 teams, right? No, 6 minus, 9 teams, and the next 2 best records. But and then the first round series, there's going to be 8 of them in the 2 leagues. The 4 first round series, all 3. It's going to be best of 3, but they're going to be played at the whole thing's going to be played at the highest seed. So in other words, the Twins have to finish in the top 4. So they either have to win the division or finish with the best second place record to be at home for 3 games. And the way they're playing at home this year, they want to be at home.
Is that going to be the case for the entire run? So
No,
if you're the number 1 seed.
then after that,
Okay.
that's the way they're going to set them up. But after that, supposedly we're going to the bubbles
Okay.
for the rest of it. We're going to have Houston, Dallas for the National League, which makes no sense because they're both American League towns, and then L.A. and San Diego for the American League. And then the World Series, I think they're saying, is going to be played in the new ballpark in Texas.
Huh.
So,
Wow.
but the players haven't agreed to that yet. The players don't want to be in the bubble.
Well, how soon could you lose playing at home?
I
mean, if-
lose
no,
the first
if you
2. See you later.
No. If you keep winning, at what point do you lose the ability to play at home, even though you're
After
still
the
alive?
first round.
Okay.
Yeah, because the first round, I mean, everything. They're very, to get their TV money, they got to play the playoffs in the World Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're very worried about, getting the positive test if they're still flying around the country and not having to not being able to play 2-3 days, because they got to be done by the end of October, because there's an election coming up in early November that is going to draw the attention of the nation's TV viewers, and Big Fox does not want a World Series game
Right.
conflicting with the upcoming election.
Wow.
I was just looking at the standings. I didn't realize. You know who stinks? Washington.
Yeah, they're not having a good year.
Wow.
I think they've had a lot of injuries, and they kind of packed it in.
Yankees aren't doing much either.
Yeah, except they're now hot. They've now won 6 in a row. In fact, Reavers and I were talking about this. If the Twins don't finish in the top 3,
If they don't win the division.
If the Twins don't win the division, there's a fighting chance. First round opponent, the Bronx Bombers, the Pinstripes from New York.
Oh, no.
The Yankees, who have won their last 13 playoff meetings against the Twins. So
Hand them the trophy. Don't even play. Let's not even risk COVID.
We can't even avoid them in a year. They're not even going to win the division.
yeah, that's we're going to somehow when's their last playoff game that wasn't against the Yankees was the Oakland
series.
06, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They got swept by Oakland. They've lost 16 in a row in the playoffs, the Twins, all-time record. So Cleveland has lost 16 home openers.
Jeez.
Twins have lost 16 straight playoff games.
2020, get the hell out of here.
Hey, they're playing guy. They're doing pretty well. They can keep Sergio from starting a riot.
He's the guy with the fake beard.
Yep.
The costume store beard.
Yeah, you can see the strings behind his baseball cap where he ties it up there.
The other day, he pops up Francisco Lindor, who kind of gets a smile on his face like, boy, I should have hit that pitch, but hey, you got me out. And Sergio decides to try to fight him. He goes running over there and chasing him down the line. And Judd's theory is that the Twins were so upset with him, they called up baseball and recommended that they suspend him for a year. But that might just, Judd once in a while
That's true.
reaches an alarming conclusion.
So is Romo traditionally a hothead?
He's a goofball. He's a
Like the mad Hungarian
he's a
kind of.
38-year-old guy who somehow has pitched in the big leagues for 15 years without a fastball. He throws slider, and he's pitched good for the Twins since they got him last year. You got to, and he's been okay, and they kind of trust him. But all of the Latin American teammates he had sided with Lindor the other day, which tells you what they thought of.
Yep.
Guys like Nelly Cruz don't want him getting the other team so irritated that they're going to throw at him, Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, because he did it with Kansas City, too, earlier this year. So what are you doing? Calm down.
He needs Valium.
Yes,
Take
he
a
does.
Valium. That's it's good.
Or a couple beers before the Vikings game, just to calm him down.
You realize Jordan Spieth didn't make the cut at the Safeway Open?
Which was won by Stuart Sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. By the way, I got a
What's
call.
wrong with Spieth?
I don't know. Well, he used to make every putt, right?
Man, is he suffering? Wow.
Well, he doesn't hit it long, and I suppose he's probably 110th in driving, right, or something. But he used to hit every fairway, and then make, if it was 20 feet or closer, there was a 70% chance he was going to make it. I don't know what happened to him. Remember 3-4 years ago, this guy might be the best player in the world.
I know, it's
New
amazing.
Tiger.
Right.
That didn't. By the way, I got to call up Hollis. They had fans in Sioux Falls, the first golf tournament with fans. The Sanford tournament, the second year in Sioux Falls, and this year they got the good weather. Last year they got really bad rain down there. The first time they had it, but they got the good winter too. Miguel Angel won it down there. So I bet they had nice crowds. I don't think they were limiting them. I mean, if you let 400,000 people go to Sturgis, what the hell? You can let a few people go to a golf tournament.
My gal Christy Noem says, "Come on in. We're gonna celebrate."
She's fine. Yeah.
Okay. No fans at the Twins or Vikings. Is that a state rule or the club's rule?
Both leagues are not allowing the state. They could have I believe, 2,500?
Limited number of people inside the stadium.
Yeah, but it's not worth, the Loons aren't opening theirs either because you can't pay with 2,500 or 5,000 or whatever. You can't pay for what it costs to open the door.
Right,
So,
security, you got concessions,
Yes.
you got all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
so kicking that U.S. Bank Stadium doors open, what do you think that cost? Oof.
Man.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why when they part of the deal for the new football stadium over there, the Zig, was that they had to give a certain number of free days to the state high school league. I think 8 or 10 or something like that, and they are. And now, to get the stadium, okay.
Right.
Now the Stadium Commission, which basically is just an arm of the Vikings, they have done everything to make life miserable for the hockey, for the high school
high
teams.
school football?
Not putting enough, like for the prep ball, they didn't have enough people selling tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
They had everybody lined
Yeah,
up.
I went
They
there.
only opened up certain sections. You had to wander around
It was a mess.
aimlessly to
It was
find
a
this.
mess.
And it was an
'Cause we went.
intentional mess because they're pouting because they can't charge rent.
If fans aren't allowed back in until a vaccine is created, what if a vaccine doesn't get created?
I don't
How
know.
long can these leagues go without paying customers?
You and I don't have to worry. We'll be dead.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't want to look at it that way, but you're right.
Yeah. No, I don't know. What the hell? What is wrong with the modern medicine?
Well,
We should have one by now. What
Hey,
is
you
wrong
sound like
with you
McLaren.
people?
it's funny you say that because Adar Poonawalla, he is the CEO of the world's largest vaccine manufacturer, says that not enough COVID-19 vaccines will be available to inoculate the global population until at least the end of 2024.
What?
That's just
That'll
breaking.
be bad for attendance.
That's just breaking
Keep
right
ma-
now.
Whatever it is, just get it in the barrel and just keep making it. Let's go.
All I know is suddenly I consider myself to be in the high risk territory. Let me.
You're jumping in that pool saying, I need to get it first.
Yeah, I
here."
got to get it first. You gotta
Anybody
see
else
it.
in this?
Yeah.
Anybody else in this room think they need it first?
I'll watch and see what happens to Pat.
I want to be second or third.
According to Poonawalla, pharmaceutical companies are not increasing production capacity quickly enough to vaccinate everyone faster.
Well, how are they going to? We're supposed to increase production facilities for something that doesn't exist yet, right?
Do the
Is that what-
Wuhaners get it first because that's where it all
That's
started?
what
Or
I don't know. Yeah. Let's inoculate the bats to make sure they don't do it.
Well, isn't it true that, let's say it was man-made,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
you can't create a vaccine unless you get the original paperwork.
I don't
you know,
buy that.
the design or something.
I don't.
the blueprints?
I stayed at a Holiday Inn last night.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
I don't get it. But I'm very disappointed in the Mayo Clinic. I thought they'd be.
I know
done
you're
by now.
really riding our people at Mayo
Yeah,
hard.
come on. That's why we, big reputation. Let's go.
Get her done?
Let's go. And then the Englishman had one person get sick and shut her down. Come on, we can take one. Let's
Come
go.
on, let's go.
Come on. Aren't the Ruskies already inoculating people, though, saying the hell with it, this might work?
Yeah, but it's fake stuff. They don't know what they're doing. They're commies.
Yeah, but if it's 50-50, what the hell? I don't know. What it's sure as hell is it's inconvenient.
Do you plan to
As good as
spend
it
the
is
winter?
for traffic.
You going to spend the winter at your estate?
No, they don't even have the pool open. The hell would you go down there for if you can't go to the pool?
That's true.
Sit in an even smaller area with the bride. I don't know.
Sounds good? Doesn't sound real attractive to you?
I knew it was going to go down that road.
I mean, at home we got your upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got the middle level with the kitchen, and then you got the downstairs.
The middle part we call neutral, right?
Yeah,
that's the neutral.
That's neutral.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Switzerland. And, and you know, you got Germany up here, and then you got the Allies down below. But
Oh, my God.
but you know, while it isn't that much smaller in total square feet, the condo is all on one level, and there's only like you got your bedroom, bathroom.
Pretty open.
You
It's
got your
open.
bedroom, bathroom, then you got your back bedroom and bathroom, and then you got a great big room, and that's it.
You know, you don't have a lot of places to hide down
I
there.
was just going to say, ain't got no hiding spot.
No,
right.
And you know, if you go to the kitchen down there, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
You know, upstairs in the other house, you know, you could be down in the den and not even know somebody's
See,
in the
if
kitchen.
you went down there, I've got a job that would keep you very occupied, and it would be going out to the garage and peel off every brand new label you have on every piece of tool that is sitting there idle, never been used. You would be busy for weeks. You would be busy for weeks just peeling labels off of the new hammer, the new.
I can guarantee you, it was not my decision to buy a toolbox. That was
She bought a nice one, too. She bought herself a nice one.
It's good.
Is it plastic?
I got to tell you though, my Jim, the colonel, the lieutenant colonel, and his wife came in for Michael's memorial service, and now they just drove off to someplace. They're going to see relatives on the East Coast and coming back. Her relatives on the East Coast, but my daughter-in-law, Edna, is she's very attentive to bad things happening to people around the globe, right? For instance, let's say there's a mass shooting in Malaysia, she's wondering if it's going to be at her house next, you know. So anyway, that kind of a deal. But the other day, Katie was gone, I left, and then they left after we did,
Okay.
and locked her up a little tighter than we normally do. You know, we got your front door and your garage, and
Yep,
you know,
yep.
if somebody wants to climb over a fence, okay, that's fine. You know, have a good time. We don't care. So we had
Pretty
everything-
charitable
Very
attitude.
interesting, yeah.
We had everything locked. Katie, I got a text from Katie as though it was my fault saying, I'm locked out of the house because she doesn't have a key. I'm locked out of the house. And I don't know if she found some key out in the garage somewhere and got in, but, you know, come on. You know, we got to trust our fellow man here. Let's go.
Are you telling me? You mean to tell me
Yeah.
that you leave the house unlocked when you're gone?
Well, not if it's for 3 months going to Florida. No, then
Maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Then we lock her up, but we don't, you know, I mean, what the heck?
But if you run to the store,
If I
you
run
might
to
not lock the door.
Well, front door, yeah, it'll be locked, and the garage door will be locked, and then, you know, if you want to,
The
you know,
shed.
if somebody wants to get in, they can get in anyway. That's my theory.
Well, locks are for honest.
That's right.
Shed's
That's
open
right.
if you need to pick up a lawnmower or snowblower or something like that.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, there's. I suppose they could grab a TV and a big big change thing. I got
Protests
the
have
big change.
taken care of that. Everybody has a TV now. Don't worry about
Okay,
that.
I got a contest I'm going to have here.
Here we go. Call the.
So my grandson Luke is turning 10, and he's a miser. He's a little money collecting miser. He knows at all times how much money he has.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
So we got the big change bucket. That's
Yeah, the loose
because
change.
they won't take, you know, the place that counts the change won't take it right now because of the virus.
Oh, you think they would because of
don't-
the
well,
coin shortage?
They don't have the back. They don't have the back part.
What do you
of
mean the
place?
place that takes the
Well,
change?
the
You mean a
credit
bank?
union. The credit
Yeah, the
union.
credit union.
Well, a lot of them don't have them anymore.
Yep, a lot of them have
but
disappeared.
They still have the change counter, right? So he's 10, so he's good for $100. That's his part of his birthday
Okay.
present. So when I see him, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to give him a card with 100. And then hopefully he's at our house. And then he opens the card, and I'm going to say, okay, you give me 100 back, and you can.
What's behind
you
door
can-
number
you can
6?
You can either keep that 100 now,
Right.
or wait to see what's in the change bucket when we take it to the change bucket. What are you going to do? But you got to give me the 100 back right now. And then wait
game
to
show
see what the
host.
change is.
So he's betting maybe it'll be 110.
It's the Price is Right, basically, right? Yeah. What's behind
Let's
the
make a
curtain?
deal.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to what he'll do.
How big is it?
I don't want his parents around. I want it or his sister. I just want him to make the decision.
Describe the size of the jug.
There's got to be $300 in there.
Okay.
250, but I'm not going to tell him that.
I'll give you the 100 back. And
Is
I'll
it,
take
you know,
lot
the
of
Culligan water jug size jug? Is that the kind?
No, but I don't know. They're probably not 300, but there's probably 200. But
Pat is showing us on the podcast how high off. I'd probably
it's a
maybe
big,
that's,
it's a big
foot and a
metal,
half, maybe.
It's a big metal thing.
Did you
yeah.
see the video of the dad and the daughter? And the daughter says, "You can have this $5 if you get it out from under this jar without moving the jar."
Yes.
And he just looks at her and he says, "Well, it's impossible. You got it glued." And she says, "No, I don't." She picked up the bottle, he took the $5 and walked away.
That's what you should do.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
No,
Joe,
look, it's not glued. There it
And
went.
did she start crying or screaming?
No,
or
she
anything?
just gave that dumb look into the camera. You know.
See, and Joe,
I heard
you
it.
hate social media, but you never would have saw that video had Twitter not been invented.
I heard
pretty good.
I heard a story about Michael, and about 25 years ago, there was he used to be a good track guy, but probably not at age 50 after the cigarettes. But there was a guy out there named Charlie Kelton, and somehow they started arguing him, and Charlie was about 15 years younger than him, and they started arguing about who could win a race, who could win a foot race.
Okay.
And Michael said, "I'll race you for $100." And they set a certain date, and Charlie trained for Charlie started training again, going down the track, getting everyone. And they got down in the running position, and they started, and Michael ran about 2 steps and stopped, and Charlie went down, and Michael said, "Where's my 100?" And he said, and Charlie says, "Oh, what do you mean? He says, I told you I'd race you for 100. I didn't tell you. Well, I beat you for 100. You owe me 100. That was the same. I don't know if he got the 100 or not.
Probably
but
not.
I'm sure he-
Told you I'd race you.
I also heard that, he played a lot of gin rummy with his buddy Whitey. A lot of gin rummy with Whitey. When he was near the end, he told his family, he says, "If you need money, go see Whitey. He owes me millions." From gin rummy. So, anyway.
You know what we forgot, Rook? We were going to tell Patrick. Joe had brought up during Garage Logic,
Oh,
Pat.
my complaint.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, the proficiency with his snap count.
My complaint was they had one job. If you're on defense and it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5, whatever.
Don't jump off.
Is just sit. Sit and wait. You know what? Let them get the advantage this time at 3rd and 5 so you
Because
don't
you
look
haven't
like an
gotten
idiot.
close to him all day anyway.
Right,
So what
and
hell?
the magnificent Aaron Rodgers used that as a tool to beat the Vikings, and that was part of it, and I think that was great. Hats off to him. But it reminded me of the HGRA days over at the St. Paul Academy when we were playing, and there was a middle linebacker. His name was Bobby. I won't say his last name. Bobby was a little high-strung and eager.
He wanted to beat the snap count.
He wanted to beat the snap count, and they would get lined up, and the quarterback would say, "Ready, set," and Bobby would look at the ball and go, "Hut, hut, hut," and the center would hike the ball. So the middle linebacker's going, hut, 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 and he went to take the side and said, "Bobby, you can't do that." But he wasn't trying to cheat. He was just so excited he wanted the play to start. Oh my God, that's
know
what they
what?
needed at the Vikings.
But he gets guys to jump out of the shot when he's in the shotgun. Right?
Yeah, yes.
I mean, that's what's amazing.
And it
when
was
you're
quiet.
down, when you're behind the center
Yep.
and you're right there, and you can nod your head a little bit and go, "Oh,"
Yeah.
That makes sense. But I can never figure out how a guy in the shotgun is able to get him to jump off sides.
In an empty stadium.
Right. I forget what quarterback did it, but this was years ago, and he got the defense to jump, but he got clobbered by the defensive lineman because he came over the top. And he's like, "Well, at least we got the penalty."
Hey, what did I miss at the end? Because I was on the play-by-play. It said 46-36.
Yeah.
Fumble. And so they knocked the ball out of they tried to knock the ball out of the center's hands and it went and run down to the end zone. Or,
I missed
when
must
he
have
was
missed it.
kneeling, when Boyle was kneeling.
Oh, I turned into the Twins
when
game by
Boyle
then.
was
Yeah.
kneeling at the end of the game, they must have when
Tried
he
one
knelt,
last swipe
and
effort.
knocked it out because it first popped up on ESPN as 46-36 with a minute and a half to go, and it had 48-yard safety or something. Well, they must have slapped the ball out of his hand.
Okay, I missed
What
that.
does this loss portend?
Oh, I don't know. With no
Green Bay's better.
with
Yeah.
no real training camp and no exhibition games, I think it would be. I don't think they're going to be very good, but they're not going to be this bad. I don't think.
I don't think they're a playoff team, though.
Yeah, but they got an extra one now.
Right.
You got 7 in each league now. They've increased that too, Joe. Although that one's permanent. 7 out of instead of 6, 7 from each conference go to the playoffs now.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's not real.
I need your view on the hockey. What do you think? Are you going to be able to get fired up for a Stars Lightning championship? Those two hockey meccas?
They get to Game 7, I'll give it a look.
But they both have already won cups, right? Didn't Tampa win one 10
Yes.
years ago or
Yeah.
something?
Yes.
And the
Tampa-
Stars won it in
Dallas,
96.
Dallas won one.
Is
too.
Dallas up 3-1 over Vegas?
Yes.
And the Lightning are up 3-1 over the
3-1
Island?
over the Islanders.
There was great hope for an Islander resurgence to bring back their glory days. Remember, they won 4
Yeah.
straight cups.
Yes.
This is the best club they've had in a long time.
Oh, yeah. They had a lot of bad years, but they also Minnesota heavy.
I was going to say they have a
Yeah.
ton of Minnesota
I got
guys.
Minnesota East, you called them.
Anders Lee from Edina,
Edina.
really
Letty.
good player.
Letty?
Nicoletti from Eden Prairie, and Brock Nelson from War Road, one of Jess Meyer's closest friends.
Where's
Marlboro.
Okposo?
Kyle Okposo?
He went someplace else.
Well, he went to the U, but he's from New Jersey.
Yeah, but he's not playing with he was with the Islanders, but he's not there now, I don't think. I don't
We'll
think.
look it up. We'll look it up.
I looked the
Where
other
is
day.
young
I
Kyle?
think he moved. That guy's a beast, man.
Which one of them has a game tonight?
He's with Buffalo.
Okay.
Kyle Oposo. He's with the Sabres.
Buffalo?
We got the Bugler, though. We picked up the Bugler the Wild,
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bukestad, who's I really the second generation Bugler.
Well, one of those teams got to be playing tonight. One of those matchups is tonight. I don't know who's
Yeah,
playing.
it's the Dallas game. I think the Dallas, because the Islanders got beat last night. They had a lead and 1-0, and then boom, boom, boom. But how about the Lightning? Last year, they got one of the great teams in NHL history, the highest scoring team ever. They get swept in the first round by Columbus, and now they weren't nearly as good, and they might end up winning the cup. So
That's a
weird.
big asterisk on that cup, baby.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. But they actually played most of a season, so it's just no home court makes
Right.
a little bit of a difference.
Boy, it seems like a long time ago the Wild were playing.
Yes, it does.
It does.
God, and it seems so weird not to have really gone to any Wild game. We'd go to a handful of Wild games here and there. Somebody wouldn't be able to use tickets, and it's bizarre how it just fell off the face of the
Well,
earth.
they played until March, didn't they?
Yeah, but tickets weren't readily available.
Oh,
Rivers and I talked about this a little bit. You know what I'd hate to be doing for a living? Selling sweets for local athletic teams to businesses after this damn thing is over.
oh yeah.
The idea of that'll only cost you $150,000 for this year.
But do you think some
and by
franchises are going to be in trouble?
Yeah, it depends on TV. I mean, is TV going to keep, the NBA, their whole premise of their existence is TV, and apparently their ratings this year have been terrible, just even before the pandemic. So
I just want to interject something. Do you know how I think everything in life is food based? Mm-hmm. I have an honest confession right there. I was very confused with Patrick's question, and I wanted to know why a
You thought it was SWEETS,
why a
didn't you?
candy salesman was going to be selling.
I knew that you would think that.
And I had to pause there, and then
sell
I realized
sweets.
he's like, no, the sweets for the. I was like, why? If you're a candy salesman, of course you're going to sell jujubes at Target Field or whatever. But you're saying that the corporate aspect, I got it.
That's right.
It's a little more heavy duty. However, I am worried about the candy salesman too.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to buy them.
Hey, I
That's
drove
right.
by the candy store in Jordan yesterday on my route back.
Still had a good crowd?
The line out the parking lot was down 169 at about 11 o'clock yesterday.
Every time I ran into people in town team baseball when they were still trying to limit them and stuff. If you can have 400 people in a bleeping candy store, we can have two. This was always their reference.
Justification.
Because they opened that place up before they opened up
Well,
a
and you
lot
know
of
why? Because the owner of the candy store is a buddy of Walls.
stuff. Is that right?
That's why people got mad about, and constantly use that analogy. That's why people were so mad about that.
well,
You
I've
know what
never
else is
been in
doing
there.
well? Apple orchards.
Really?
Yeah, they
I know
are.
some people who went yesterday to the apple orchard.
Rook?
Quite crowded.
I got a friend of mine who complained. I
I hate all the traffic.
I ran into a friend of mine the other day, an older guy, and he got his eye scratched in a raspberry patch.
Oh, boy.
Picking
Oh, yeah,
raspberries.
yeah.
I said, they got these places.
Yep.
They're called grocery stores.
That's right.
You walk in there.
They got them in a little
You
plastic
got
tray
you
for
got
you.
a big car. You got raspberries. They put them in there about 10 minutes ago, fresh as a daisy, and you just pour a little cream on them and eat some raspberries. Why in God's name would you go out there with bugs and stickers and other crap?
Mr. Nature.
And at your age, bend over. You got to bend over to pick a raspberry, don't you?
Right.
They don't. They're not on big bushes, are they?
I don't know.
Yeah, we get up
Never
there.
picked
What the
one.
hell? Anybody who goes and picks strawberries and raspberries and all that crap.
Wait
is
a
an
minute.
idiot.
How about you take the DA and say, I've got an idea.
Yeah, right.
Right, like a little olive branch. A minor olive branch.
Let's spend the afternoon picking raspberries.
We'll put the top down.
Yes.
I think the top-down season is starting to drift away from us. It's been a great
Today you might be able to get away with
been a
it.
great 5-6 months, but she's kind of going the opposite direction. It's funny how this happens in Minnesota. It just
Gets
It
cold.
gets later in the year. It gets cooler. I don't know how that works.
82 tomorrow, Pat.
So, what's your final observation on not having a fair? Did you miss it?
I did. It's because it's just become such an important part of the Garage Logic show over the years.
Because it kind of lightens the mood of
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah.
don't have to worry about
Well, and we all
world
miss
events.
Joe asking Doris, bringing out an animal. Do they make girl ones at least? Things like that.
How was Marjorie, by the way? I missed her. She doing okay?
We had her on the phone to wish her happy birthday. She's a hun.
She made a hun too.
She's
huh?
100.
She's
Yep.
101 now. Because we
Really? So she's
Oh, that's
older
right.
than
Yeah.
Sid.
Yep.
Yep. And we
Got a measurement lately?
I don't think she's any taller.
Right. She's not gaining any.
But she confirmed that she'll be with us next year if there's a fair. She'll be
Wow.
our first guest.
Now she's not still in the house with the big kitchen, is she? Or is she?
No, she has a custom kitchen. Very
Same
little,
house.
Everything's
same house, huh?
different heights.
and somebody helping her out.
Oh yeah, she's got.
Got her kids help her, neighbors.
Wow.
But she said, Pat, that she does not have an achy bone in her body. She walks. She eats right. She's a teetotaler, so there's no. She's not having a little.
She's not even a Russian. She's not even a Russian from the Black Sea like Sydney either.
You know what she said though? Fruits and vegetables. That's what
Fruits
she
and
said.
veggies, right?
Positivity. She's
Raspberries.
positive.
A lot of raspberries.
I
I
bet
bet.
she never picked one in her life. I bet she bought them at the store, just like a real human
like a
being. does.
normal person.
Yeah, just
Right.
like a normal person.
I like to-
I'm never gonna lose my vision from picking raspberries. I'll tell you that something might happen, but it won't be from raspberries.
Well, how this guy in bad trouble with his
No,
eye?
but he's got a doesn't have a right eye, right? He's got a bad eye. He's got
He's got a patch.
They don't have a marble in there anymore,
Wait a minute.
but he's got the bad eye.
Do you think that's
and then
what-
he hurt his left one.
Do you think that's what Zim did? Think Zim was out picking raspberries?
picking raspberries?
Maybe Zim couldn't see.
When he scratched the eye?
Is there any chance Zim couldn't see yesterday? That was the problem.
Might
Maybe.
have been it.
Okay.
Who should he go see if he can't see? He should go see an
Ophthalmologist.
I gotta have it right
You gotta have it right there.
Is it the number of amateur ophthalmologists?
I should have been there to ask him that on Zoom yesterday.
Yeah.
Have you seen your ophthalmologist lately? Because you didn't look like you knew what the hell was going on. You know, my brother Michael had a stroke in his eye about 1.5 years ago. And he lost the vision in his right eye. So he was blind in his right eye, but his left eye was his bad eye from youth.
Oh, boy.
He had the crazy eye, which was
kinda went-
okay, except when he got loaded, that baby would almost disappear.
Go Marty Feldman. Marty Feldman on him.
Yeah, and start floating around, and you knew you didn't need a blood test to see what his alcohol intake
eye's
was.
going over here.
It's, don't you be driving, Michael. Your eye is over
Give me
the
your
legal.
keys.
Your eye is
What do you
over.
mean?
Your eye is over the legal limit.
Pat, I've had 2 surgeries for that.
Really?
One when I was a kid, and one when I was in my 20s. I had the eye that would disappear.
Okay, the disappearing, and not because of too much alcohol intake.
So that's currently, but
People have always said, "You're talking to me, but you aren't looking at me. What
Right.
the hell's going on?"
doing my best.
I'm trying here.
Yeah, I didn't know you ever had one of those. I can't
Cross-eyed,
remember.
didn't they call it cross-eyed?
Yeah, I did, but he
Or
only
lazy
had it
eye?
with lazy eye is what he had. He had the Marty Feldman eye. There was, but it would really manifest itself when he drank too much.
Yeah, that'll cause it to roll away.
Roll away.
It was, but I just felt really sorry for him because the first thing he said, I had a stroke. And I said, which eye? And he said, the good one. I said, oh, no, that ain't good. That ain't good.
Could he still drive?
I don't believe that they were. I don't believe they were in favor of him driving after that occurred. I don't think so. But he might have attempted it, but I don't know.
Anyway.
What do you think? You got to go here pretty soon, don't you?
Well, I'm trying to think what I got to do. 2:15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to go to the bank.
Okay.
Pick up some stamps, maybe.
I got to go for a walk.
You need any carrots? You need any carrots or any
No.
Raspberries?
lettuce, raspberry at the
I
store?
had the best carrots of my life
Really?
last Thursday
Now,
night.
do you eat them raw?
No, these were cooked in a homemade chicken pot pie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you got
the
me.
carrots came
homemade.
from one of the Hmong tended gardens.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what they're doing, but they got the carrots down.
Wow.
Were they good?
I hear they use rabbit urine, but I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
that's
heard that too.
Okay, I don't want
Soaks
that
right
now.
in.
Yeah.
Soaks right in, especially if you got a lazy eye.
No. So who makes a homemade chicken pot pie?
One of the kids I used to have made a homemade pie, chicken pot pie.
Man, I love chicken pot pie.
Oh, it was really good. It was really good. That was the best carrots I've ever
I think
had.
I know what I'm going to have for dinner tonight.
There you
Chicken
go.
pot pie.
You gonna whip one up, or you gonna get a frozen
Oh,
one?
God.
He's going to run over to Hy-Vee.
Jerry's has got good ones.
Oh yeah.
Jerry's
Foods?
got to find, got to.
You like those pre-made ones where not frozen, but made, and then you
I
just
want
pop
them
them
to
in the
made
oven.
for me because the ones that are frozen are not.
No, they're not. You lose a lot of quality.
So you're not gonna go to the Florida compound at all?
Well, at this point, I have no idea, but there's not really much incentive if the entire facility is closed down.
How about this for an incentive? Warmth.
Well, I could go, but I don't think the long duration one. I might go down for a couple of weeks, but I don't know. I think that I'm already signed up to be at the golf show in February.
Oh, boy.
for for the Score North. So at least that's what last I heard. So, but I don't know. How's your game? The season winding down. You hitting it okay?
Yeah, better than I have all year.
Okay.
I don't know why. That always happens when the year's over. I start to play pretty well.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Are you still in on the Minnetonka versus Interlaken match?
No. I have a consulting role.
Okay.
But if our club really wants to win it, they don't want me on the club.
Keep him off the team.
Yeah, keep him
Again.
off the team. Let him give a speech and let him hang around, but don't let him play.
I just saw Don and the governor of California at a deal.
Yeah,
One of them was wearing a mask. Take a guess.
not Trump.
Not the president.
Now he did it for about 2 days, and then he said, "I'm not doing this anymore."
Right.
Yeah, he did it for somebody got to him when the thing was really flaring up about 2.5 weeks ago, but then that only lasted a couple of days. So.
All right, pal. I gotta go.
You gotta go. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
See ya, Suchi boy. Get your errands run and get done. And, if you need any financial advice, I know where you should go.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Hey, how about Josh?
There we go.
That a great segue.
This is Patrick Ricey for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. It's deja vu all over again. Josh has been talking since the beginning of the year that the market volatility would be high due to Trump's tweets in the upcoming election. And Trump not wearing a mask and some other people wearing masks. That's another reason. You need to talk to my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold, especially now with the tweets flying and more talk of the election. Go see Josh for a no-cost, no obligation 48-minute consultation. A common mistake that Josh sees in these meetings are 401ks and IRAs with up to 50% in impaired stocks. To find out if your retirement fund may be holding these losers, call Josh at 952-925-5608. Josh will give you straight talk, and guess what? No sugar-coated advice.
That's right.
Call Josh at 952-925-5608. And sugar-coated was today's emphasized word, right?
Tell him sugar-coated for a 0% upcharge.
Yes. They should have little surveys. They should have little betting games
Incentives.
out there as to which word will be emphasized most greatly.